He tried to keep walking. Even if I wanted to quench my thirst, my wives aren't around now, and it's impossible for me to drink common blood. Lacus snorted. Because of that nuisance, I don't want to get married. Just imagine being dependent on someone else's blood for eternity. No thanks. Victor ignored Lacus and continued walking, staggering forward. His bloodlust was overwhelming him. He looked back at the women trailing behind them. He smelled their blood. If I don't stay active, I'm going to do something really bad. Back at Victor's house, Leon was rubbing his temples in a futile attempt to help with his crushing headache. So you're telling me my son has 2 more mystery wives, and you're them? They looked at each other and then back at Leon with sheepish nods. Ruby did the talking. Yes, I suppose that makes us your other daughter-in-laws. Leon just couldn't believe what he was hearing. He leaned against the wall and took in some deep breaths. And you're both okay with that? I mean, you aren't jealous or anything? Sasha gulped. I'll be honest, I do sometimes feel jealous, but since Ruby and Violet are my childhood friends, I'm getting over it. I feel like a lot hasn't changed. It's sort of just like someone new joined the friend group. It was her honest feelings, and even though she didn't understand them completely, being with Victor soothed her a lot. She felt very comfortable. It was the same feeling as when she was with her old maid and mother figure, Julia. Ruby agreed. Indeed, I feel the same. I'm sure if we weren't childhood friends, this situation would be much more problematic. Leon just looked at the 2 women with a shocked expression. Leon looked over at his wife. I'm honestly jealous. My son is a champion. He stammered. I mean, I'm jealous of how much time you ladies get to spend with him and hope you all have a lovely life together. Ruby smiled. Oh, thank you. Sasha still had a confused look on her face. Thanks? Anna tapped her foot impatiently. Leon? Yes, honey. He spoke with a strange smile on his face. How was your work? Oh, work was good. I had some little problems, but that's to be expected. Anyway, I'm glad my son has 2 more lovely wives like you to look after him. He smiled at Ruby and Sasha. Sasha and Ruby's faces lit up. It felt good to be accepted into the family, even if it was in an awkward fashion. Leon couldn't help but be enchanted by the 2 women's smiles, but he felt his wife's glare intensify. He made the wisest decision he could make in this kind of situation. I have something to solve, work calls. He got up from the couch and calmly walked up the stairs. I'll see you around. Congratulations. Sasha called out to him as he left the room. Nice job, Father. Don't work too hard or you might get sick. Leon shook his head and muttered to himself. When did my son become such a player? A woman like Violet is already enough trouble. Imagine having 2 more. Wow. Anna remained on the couch with Ruby and Sasha. It was awkward. Sasha was more talkative than Ruby, but both were uncomfortable. Though soon Anna was joyfully calling them her daughters and the tension was beginning to ease. Ruby and Sasha hugged their mother-in-law and made their way down to the basement. Once they were out of sight, they breathed a major sigh of relief. Sasha collapsed onto the couch, melting into it. I never thought it would be so tiring. Ruby sat next to her and crossed her legs elegantly. Yes, everything went according to plan. But it was exhausting. Natalia suddenly appeared with a mug full of red liquid. Thanks, but I don't want... She trailed off when she smelled the liquid. This is my darling's blood. She swallowed hard, mouth watering. Sasha opened her eyes and sniffed the air. Natalia? When did you get this? Natalia lowered her eyes. When Lord Victor was sleeping, I collected some of his blood. I figured you might need some later. Ruby scowled. That's impossible. No one enters my darling's room without me or Sasha and Violet noticing. Unless did you use your powers? Natalia grew nervous. I only used them to benefit you. Ruby considered Natalia's reasoning and relaxed. Fair point. Sasha sat up on the couch and took a sip of the blood. She winced and looked back at Ruby. Are you going to drink it? I wouldn't recommend it. Why? Although it's our husband's blood, for some reason it tastes really bad. Ruby scratched her head. I wonder why that is. Sasha grimaced. She had never felt so much like vomiting in her life. Natalia looked at Ruby. Do you want to try it? Ruby was torn, and then she made up her mind. No, I trust Sasha. Very well. Natalia carried the tea out of the room. Ruby turned to Sasha. Should we go back home? Sasha thought for a moment and then rose from the couch. I think so. Ruby joined her, but before they began the journey, they heard the sound of swirling magic energy and saw a magic circle appear in the middle of the room. June the witch stepped out of the circle with a smile on her face. Ladies, I've got some shocking news. Ruby and Sasha waited eagerly. Ruby growled. Spit it out. June smiled. Are you sure you're ready? Ruby and Sasha glared and responded in unison. Yes! June nodded. Here it goes. Back at the Scathach mansion, Violet had finally arrived. She groaned in frustration as she approached the large wrought iron gate at the entrance. She exhaled and tried to calm herself. She looked around. As usual, this place is quite desolate. She could only see dense forests and snow-covered mountains. I never understood why that old bag chose her personal home in such a secluded place. Violet heard a woman's voice. You never learn, brat. Violet looked up to see Scathach leaning against the gate. Violet readied herself for battle. Where's Victor? Scathach dropped to the ground. Don't worry, he's training with Pepper. What? Violet screamed in horror as she recalled Pepper's lithe body. That bitch is going to seduce my darling. I will kill her. Violet's eyes started to change to red, and her teeth began to sharp. Scathach bopped Violet on the head. Ouch! Violet glared at Scathach. What the hell was that for? Scathach scowled. Stop your paranoia, brat. Don't you trust your husband? Of course I trust him. I don't trust your daughter. Violet pointed a finger at Scathach with forceful anger. Your daughters were raised by you. Enough said. Surprisingly, Scathach wasn't offended. She nodded in agreement. Huh, I suppose you've got a point. Scathach had raised her daughters to be strong and independent women. With a sigh, Scathach returned inside, calling over her shoulder to Violet. He's in the forest with my daughters. Scathach cackled as Violet boiled with rage. She steeled herself for violence and entered the woods. She was ready to kill anyone or anything standing in the way of her and her darling.
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.